We'd like to start the regular press conference of the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
I had to go abroad during Golden Week, and it's been some time since we've had the last conference. And I have been appropriately communicating on the local scene. And I had a telephone conference with Foreign Minister Araguchi, which I spoke about. So I have nothing in particular to announce today. So I'll take your questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and when called on, please proceed to the nearest microphone and state your name and affiliation before you state your question. Kyodo News, Honda-san, please. Honda from Kyodo News. Regarding a U.S.-China summit meeting, it has been announced that the U.S.-China summit meeting will be held on the 14th. The agenda is expected to include the situation surrounding Iran, as well as the establishment of a committee on U.S.-China trade and relations. Given that the future course of U.S.-China relations, including the economic sphere, is likely to have a major impact on Japan as well, what kind of discussion do you expect from this summit meeting? As you pointed out, the U.S.-China meeting is one which is the focus of the world. But I will refrain from commenting blow by blow on developments between U.S. and China. But as a general statement, U.S.-China relations contributing to the international community, including Japan, is extremely important. That is my thinking. And so from such a perspective, between the United States and Japan, we routinely engage in close communication. And I have a scheduled meeting with Treasury Secretary Bessent today. And when I have this meeting, I hope to engage in frank exchanges of views. In any case, on the part of our country, based on a strong relationship of trust with our allied country, the United States, we'd like to encourage the United States to perform appropriate responsibilities commensurate with its role, position vis-à-vis China.
Asahi Shimbun, Miyawaki-san, please go ahead. This is Miyawaki from Asahi Shimbun. Yesterday, the Japanese government signed a note of grant aid with the representative of the UN Development Program Office in Cuba regarding the installation of solar panels at hospitals. Minister Motegi, I'd like to ask you about the significance and purpose of this. The Cuba, including crude oil, these natural resources are not coming in as a normal situation. Therefore, in Cuba, they're facing a serious power shortage. Therefore, they're experiencing a large-scale blackouts frequently. And this impacts various types of economic activities, especially the continuance of medical service. They're facing the difficulty of providing that. Therefore, especially securing the power supply to the hospitals is the nation's urgent matter. And the purpose of this assistance this time is by developing the solar panel infrastructure. Towards Cuba, they're facing this significant issue. We will be able to stabilize the energy supply to the 10 hospitals in Cuba and also improve the sustainability of the medical services provision, which are facing difficulties, and we're going to improve the current humanitarian situation.
Nakahara-san, Sankei Shimbun, please. Nakahara from Sankei Shimbun. Regarding reports that the Japanese government plans to send an economic mission to Russia, the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry posted on X on the 9th that the current situation is one in which new cooperation with Russia can be pursued. At the same time, it's understood that Japanese government officials will travel to Russia at the end of May in order to protect the assets of Japanese communications there. In addition, when House of Councilors member Muneo Suzuki recently visited Russia, there was mention of the possibility of a foreign minister meeting on the sidelines of the ASEAN-related foreign ministers' meetings in the Philippines in July, among the developments suggesting that Japan-Russia relations may be moving toward improvement. Once again, could you share your thoughts on how Japan intends to approach its relations with Russia going forward? To talk about basic thinking first, aggression by Russia into Ukraine. This is something that I have repeatedly referred to. It shakes the very foundation of international order. It's a reckless act, and it undermines the peace and stability of the international community as a whole. From such a perspective, on our part, on the part of Japan, beginning with G7, we coordinating with the international community and imposing sanctions on Russia. There's no change to this policy. At the same time, Russia is a neighboring country, and for us to appropriately manage bilateral relations is important. We'd like to continue to respond appropriately in our diplomacy as a whole from the perspective of what would contribute to our national interest. Thank you.
Any other questions from the floor? If none, we would like to conclude today's press conference. Thank you very much.